Long Beach, California situation.
We're in the girls' restroom. I need help.
He is inside, and he is still actively shooting.
In Albuquerque, New Mexico.
So now it went from a nothing call to I might not go home.
A suspect disappears.
From the time of seeing the vehicle crash and me getting up to the vehicle was about 6 seconds. He just disappeared.
Got footprints going northbound in the snow. Hey, somebody else coming with me or what?
Yeah, come outside!
About an hour south of Los Angeles, Long Beach.
Long Beach is a very diversified city. We service, we're about 52 square miles. On this particular night, there was a Laker game that happened so many times, and a lot of times we have zero altercations, right? And that's what I think we all hope for, is that people can, behave themselves, without causing problems.
The Lakers lose to their hometown rivals, the Clippers.
When those games happen, we got parties, people have had a lot to drink, and if a team has lost, people's tempers kind of raise up.
Long Beach 911. You need police.
Hi, somebody's shooting up our bar right now. There's a spot of death.
I'm sorry, somebody's
up our bar right now. We're in the girls' restroom.
Okay, their officers are coming.
So while I was driving eastbound on Artesia Boulevard, and I happened to be in the area, I was approaching while hiding behind vehicles in the street. I knew something wasn't right.
Adam, 21. I just got flagged down. I bottomed up for a 417 inside the bar. Subject was the inside.
It was the back door. He was kicking the door and he started shooting
inside. He's inside.
I could see people coming out of the bathroom, watching and seeing like the
male black with Lakers jersey on. Supposed to be still in. Shots fired.
We get seconds to determine what we have and how we're going to react to it. His jersey, and he was holding a firearm in his right hand, pointed at the people coming out of the bathroom. I knew that was the suspect, and I fired 2 shots.
Adam, 21, 998, male black, unknown if he's down or not. Take cover.
He fell very quickly behind the bar, or if I scared him and then he's hiding. I mean, it's a scary situation to be in.
Adam on inside, unknown if they're hurt.
That's probably worst case scenario for a patrol officer, especially by themselves.
Police don't know exactly where the shooter is, and there are still people in the bar.
Are you guys okay? Run towards me.
For them to get out, those civilians would then have to potentially cross.
It is a risky maneuver, but we do have to take those chances.
Adam, 21, if I can get a couple of units of victims waving at me, if I can start trying to get them out. See the victims right there? So just behind them, I hit him. He shot towards those victims. If I can get them to crawl out here, we can get them out. Oh, we can move up. I can get them to crawl towards me, and we can get them out of here. You want to cover me? All right.
Approaching a doorway is always a dangerous spot. They call it the fatal funnel for a reason. Sure, that was with me, covering me.
Ma'am.
subject that I pulled out, he was extremely scared, but he was not hit.
You good? Are you guys hit?
It was a big relief knowing that at least those people were safe.
Can you go find out who else is inside?
I checked and asked the people inside the bathroom, not knowing who else was injured or who else was in the bathroom. Obviously, he is inside. Scary situation to be in, even though we train in it.
Hi, Ronda Rico. Can you activate SWAT, please?
Are we sending it out as a active shooter or 245?
Inside a bar with hostages inside.
The 911 caller, who is trapped inside, is still on the line.
Okay, their officers are coming. Stay on the phone with me, okay? They're coming. They're coming real fast.
When we arrived at the location, the initial report.
Everybody listen to me. There's more in the
Please hurry, please.
Okay.
You're outside, you're outside.
The SWAT team will enter on the east side of the bar, while Long Beach
patrol officers had established a perimeter and basically had eyes on the interior of the bar. It's a very small location.
I feel like, so if you see a head, we gotta be confirmed. We gotta be sure.
Put the gun on the ground and stick your hands straight in the air.
Is there one on the left? Behind the bar. Listen to me. There's one guy that's suspect behind the bar. Down. We don't know.
When we make entry, we're kind of going a slow and deliberate. We were just basically trying to cover all the angles. The suspects may be lying in wait. It's just a matter of communication and moving together as a pod. Our main concern.
The officers are inside. You're almost done, okay? Stay calm. I know you're scared, but you're doing a guy, but we want to make sure that he's the only one.
Even after we made entry and opened the door, it was still a struggle to convince the victim that even with us protecting them and putting ourselves between them and the suspect behind the bar, they were still pretty scared that they were okay, they were going to be fine, and finally got them out of the restrooms.
One more coming.
Aired that there was the suspect down behind the bar, and everyone else from the bathroom got out.
Officers could see the suspect. He could see that he still had a weapon in his hand, but he appeared to be incapacitated.
The suspect wasn't a threat to anybody else, and nobody else got injured.
You all right? Yeah. Going to go.
The suspect, Delphon Kinney. He is pronounced dead at the scene. Police were never able to determine his motive.
So as we continued on, same officers, when they cleared the back of the bar, they saw a second subject down. So it appeared that the second person was also deceased.
The victim is 44. He'd recently taken the job in the bar to support his mom.
The suspect killed the other victim behind the bar until a few hours later. My heart kind of dropped at that moment. Shots that I heard in the beginning when I first arrived.
Shots fired.
Was when the suspect basically executed. To this day, I still wonder how things would have been different if I was either there sooner, if I would have, I wish there was something I could have done to that split second difference.
Knowing what I know now, the CCTV inside the bar, 100%, I believe this could have been a lot more devastating outcome had Officer done. He did an excellent job.
It was found that Officer Hazelwood acted in self-defense and in the defense of others.
I'm glad that I was there, and I'm glad that I was able to react and stop the threat before any of the other victims were shot.
Officer Hazelwood's actions that night absolutely saved lives.
In the heart of the state of New Mexico, is the city of Albuquerque. Lieutenant Brock Niprath is out on patrol with rookie officer Kyle Fredrickson.
It was my second week with Officer Niprath. I felt like we got along pretty well right away.
My favorite part of the job has always been to impart knowledge to the next generation.
Progress at a local store.
The loss prevention officer that they had prior run-ins with him.
Outside.
We saw him kind of walking, go to an area that was less crowded, and then he would conceal an item in his backpack. We begin to see him kind of come to, pass all the registers without making any attempt to pay for any of the merchandise that he's got concealed in his backpack. That's when we decide to go take him into custody. So you kind of psych yourself up. You start game planning. If he runs, I'm going to do this. If he gives up, we can do this. If he fights, we're going to do this.
Hey, don't do it. Stop.
This is my first foot chase. Is my training good enough to keep up with this guy? He grabbed the gun and pulled it out of his waistband. The barrel of the gun was within a foot or two of my face. It was a feeling that going to hurt a lot. I pulled my gun out and I pointed it toward you. There was a chance that I would have missed, and I don't want to take the chance of hitting somebody else.
I didn't know.
You okay? You're good, you're good.
But we can't stop now. We've got to keep going.
I felt like I had noodles for legs, and I was having to force my feet to keep moving.
He's armed now. We know he's fleeing towards a busy intersection. My biggest concern is to, steal somebody's car at gunpoint or take a hostage.
It looks to be a WMA. Ponytail. It's across you, bank. Check yourself.
Officer Niprath was telling me to stop and to check myself to see if I was shot. I didn't.
We're in the alley, just west of Eubank. Looks like the mail stop joined the neighborhood. Advise southeast. I don't know if I thought of it anymore. Mom prop, from the Yearwood. Subject said that the guy jumped the fence back here.
We don't follow him when he jumps us. Obviously, he's got a firearm, and he could be waiting on the other side of the wall to ambush us.
Feeling when somebody gets away from you that you failed.
24B, 3 shots were fired. Looked like it was possibly a revolver. This one? Going west?
We will figure out who he is. We will eventually find him and get him and bring him to justice. We had police units on the perimeter making PA announcements over a loudspeaker, telling citizens to stay inside. If anything happened, to call us. Once we kind of get the perimeter set up, Kyle and I get full diving to get units into the area. The search was difficult for our SWAT team just because of how...
-25, it doesn't appear anybody's home.
With several city blocks, they're having to go house by house, which takes it so that everybody's safe.
One of our biggest fears was that he was going to break into a home and take hostages.
4 hours into the search, the suspect is still at large. But then, a call comes in to 911.
Coming out the window in a red shirt, and as soon as he seen the helicopter, he jumped back in the window. He actually looks like this guy that he comes around stolen. My wife was standing in the door too, and he said that it was Charles.
By the suspect as Charles Purvis.
As soon as we had the 911 caller identify the house, perimeter around the house.
Charles, we know you're in the house. It's time to come out of the house. Come out and empty, and we can't guarantee your safety.
We wouldn't send officers directly to the door or to the windows. Shot.
Suspect Charles Purvis refuses to come out.
The safest option is for us to try and force him out. With tear gas is non-lethal.
Come to the door and open it!
It makes your nose hurt, it makes your throat hurt, it makes your lips burn, it makes your eyes hurt.
Charles, come out the front door with your hands up and empty, and we can't guarantee the instructions of all officers, and we will get you out of there safely. Open the front door.
It was an abandoned house, and it had a boarded up front door, so he couldn't get out.
Screaming inside the home that he can't get out. They used our armored rook to break down the front door to get him to come out.
Strap to the... Keep your hands up! Keep your hands up! If you run, force is going to be used against you! Walk towards the sound of my voice! Walk backwards to the sound of my voice! Walk backwards!
Just because he's wanting to come out doesn't necessarily mean he's going to give up peace.
Keep walking! Keep walking! Keep walking! Get on your knee! Hands behind your head and release your fingers! You guys got the house and everything? He's all yours.
Once Mr. Purvis is in custody, the SWAT team goes in and checks the house. They were able to verify that there wasn't anybody else inside that had used either.
Once he's in the police vehicle, they request myself and Officer Niprath to come up and identify the male to confirm that this is the same individual. Another officer shined a flashlight in so I could see him, and I remember Charles looked up at me and he said, "I'm really sorry, officer. It doesn't matter if you're sorry. You tried to kill me."
Charles Edward Purvis pleaded a violent felony on a police officer and tampering with evidence. He is sentenced to 2 years on parole and 5 years supervised probation.
Charles, when he decided to run and when he tried to fight with us, it's absolutely not worth what happened.
One of the rounds at the suspect parking lot, and at the time, the owner of the vehicle was loading groceries in the car. And it really is a miracle on nobody rounds.
My outlook at being a police officer changed on that day. It is my job to, now this is just part of me. I remember seeing our armored vehicles and every person that I'd never met, because I'm new, and there's dozens upon dozens of officers showing up and missing. That was a feeling that I'll never forget.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin is Kenosha County.
I've been a sheriff's deputy for a little less than 4 years now. It's always been a lifetime dream of mine to be sir. My patrol area is very rural, packed with farm fields. For the most part, it's pretty relaxed. Expect the unexpected every turn that you make. Complacency will get you killed. I was coming into work, so at that point, I really was still off duty. I'm still letting the cop get the roll call.
Deputy McGrath hears a call over the radio. A car is driving dangerously.
The only description that we had on it was that it was a black sedan with a dealer plate. When you attempt to run a deal back with a registered owner listed, not knowing who's actually driving the vehicle heightens your threat level. And
they just turned on the 98 vehicle on eastbound.
Why the vehicle is trying to evade the police, you don't know if they're a murderer or if they're just... Deputy Kasalki was coming southbound, and after we passed the intersection, he got in right behind me.
Most people do not run. 12, 13-year-old children that have stole cars, 60-year-old men that are drunk and don't want to go to jail.
Okay, so once this traffic clears a little bit, I'll try lighting them up, see what happens. All right, 353. He's not stopping, he's passing vehicles now.
When the chase began, your adrenaline starts to pump. You're always concerned would be armed.
Block, traffic.
At that point, my main job was to take over the radio duties, and Deputy McGrath, his only job is anything else.
Roundabouts are very new to the Kenosha County area. A lot of people don't know, and it becomes a very dangerous situation.
Roundabout up there.
I saw the suspect vehicle activate its brake lights, but it wasn't enough.
In the middle of the roundabout, there are 10 large boulders at 100 and some miles an hour. Flipped his car, landed upside down.
While I see the suspect vehicle traveling through the air and flipping on its roof, he's going to die.
Once I heard that it hit the roundabout, I got my 2 minutes to get to the crash site.
At that point, you kind of get into rescue mode.
Is anybody inside? Is there anybody in there? 353, I got somebody in the vehicle. I can't tell if it's in the trunk. I need rescue here.
Once I got there, I went to go assist Deputy McGrath. Everything that's in your car is now on the roof of the car. You have to get all the way down to the ground to look at the car.
Hey, is that you pulling a jacket? All right.
If there was somebody in the trunk, I just wanted to get into the trunk to see if there was a person in there.
It's in the trunk. I need rescue here now.
I think it might be the dog.
All right. I have a police dog that's assigned to me. His name is Arlo. When we get to where we're going, he'll start howling and crying, or that lights and sirens means, oh, there's maybe a bad guy and I might get to come out of the car and do something.
Knowing that no other person was in the vehicle and actually coming from Canine Arlo gave me great relief.
I don't see anybody either. Reeks of weed.
From the time of seeing the vehicle crash and me getting up to the vehicle was probably about seeing that nobody was in the vehicle threw me for a loop. Felt like he just disappeared in the thin air. At that ped, such as were they ejected?
You know, possibly hanging in a tree someplace because the crash was so violent.
At that point was try to find any type of signs on where he may have gone to.
Make sure it's clear on this side first. There's no better tool than a dog's nose to find a person.
Felt like there was a ticking clock at that point. You don't know if he is bleeding out and he's going to die. Residents and try to break in and possibly take somebody hostage.
Footprints going northbound in the snow, right by the crest. The chances of human footprints being slim to none. He ran this way, something. Good, check. Hey, somebody else coming with me or what?
Yeah, is this his foot track?
Yeah.
At that point, Deputy Kasalki took his canine partner Arlo and began tracking the suspect. I remained with the vehicle.
Me and another deputy started following Deputy Kasalki.
When it comes to these conditions, I've lived here for 35 years, so it's just another day in Wisconsin for us. When I have Arlo out, I follow him, I watch his tail, I watch his demeanor. I can tell by Arlo's body language how close we are to the suspect. We weren't very...
I didn't know who the suspect was. I didn't know why he was running. There is a possibility that we could be running in an ambush.
Stand, stay. 302, get me cars going to the north on MB. I redirect other units, kind of just trying to stay one step ahead of them.
There's always a possibility that you're never going to find the suspect. I don't like losing.
The snow kind of started to peter out, and it got a little harder to see the footprints.
Yeah, I got you. Let me go this way.
358, I'm going north.
They just kind of stopped. So let's just follow the dog. I would confidently say that I would trust that dog more than human beings.
When the tracks ran out, it was the edge of the tree line.
There's a fence?
Yeah. My thought was, well, he probably went at least minimum straight, but Arlo's standing there trying to pull me into the woods. He's sitting there, hey.
I went left through the tree line to look for the footprints.
I got no tracks over here.
Crossfire.
Where's he at?
Right in the tree.
I got him.
302, I got him here. We're just give me a minute here. Hold the channel. This one here. Go to this guy to your right here. Walk to the guy over here. I'm sending the dog. Arlo, he just wants to run in there because the faster he gets in there, the faster he finds the bad guy. We're looking in the trees with the flash.
We got one over here.
Goes to the left.
Where's he at? I got him. Got one at some point.
I was able to tree line. Your adrenaline pumps up a little bit more because you know that he's here. We just need to get him in custody.
For talk, he probably didn't think we really saw him. Well, let's just sit here for a second and see if they just go away.
You have one chance. Do it now.
All I could really see was the bottom half of the suspect. It could be he's loading a gun. It could be he's getting a knife out of his pocket. It was at the point where if he didn't come out of the trees that Arlo was going to get sent.
Right here.
At that point, he realized his goose. Luckily for him, he decided to give up.
Yeah, the good boy. Yeah.
Once he was on the ground, he was very compliant.
You are so lucky, dude. You were about 2 feet away from getting bit.
Once the suspect is arrested, we didn't. You want to look for any injuries, especially since he flipped his car.
Where you hurt at? Hey. Deputy Kasalki escorted the suspect back to the scene. They took him into the ambulance to check him out. Have any severe injuries?
Because the way that the car landed, you would think that he would either have hurt himself, broke his back, hurt his neck.
The suspect was identified as Mohammed Yessa Rabah. When he went to trial, he pled guilty to offense in obstructing an officer. He was sentenced to 234 days of jail and 3 years of probation.
Where's he at?
He mentioned that he wanted to get to his girlfriend's house in Chicago. That he would not elaborate on that.
I got him.
That the suspect was caught and taken off the street, and that nobody, including the suspect, was injured. Spectacular. He was able to get the scent immediately.
When he's out of the car, he knows what he's... just what he does, that's what he lives for.
Yeah, it's a good boy.
We're coming for him.
Get your hands up! Circle can, stop!
And in Wisconsin,
And I saw the vehicle go into on.
Holy shit.